This is Mark with Templin Radio, just making sure you can hear me. It's been a while. I want to make sure all the settings are still good. So if you can hear me, please let me know. And if you can't, let me know even faster. Hello, and welcome back to the Orion Arm. I am Mark, the man behind the curtain, and today we are finally back and working on the star map for the Dawn of Victory world-building project. If this is your first stream, you don't know what's going on, The Way of World-Building is a series run by the Templin Institute. New episodes out next week. Thank God, it's been a while. But as part of that series, we're developing our own original sci-fi universe. It's called Dawn of Victory, and this is the star map. You can actually see the end result of this map. It is online right now over at map.champlain.group if you want to follow along. And if you want to contribute star system names, we got a whole system in place for that, which you can see over on this Google Doc. Over the course of the stream, we'll be soliciting names, so yeah, feel free to drop some in there if you got some ideas. So, session number 10. We have been working on this ostensibly for 20 hours plus, let's say another 10 outside of streams, and liking where we're going. But before anything else, let's go to the old work mode, shall we? It's been a while. I'm glad I still remember all the buttons. Okay, there we go. So yeah, 20 hours of work, let's say, yeah, even 30 I think we'll call it, and we've got this one section of the Orion Arm pretty much nailed down. In fact, I think I even made a border for it. Yeah, here we go. So this is what I consider the first like major region, and yeah, as opposed to what's left, I feel like I want to add just a few more star systems on the top side of the Len Veil. Maybe a few more over here. This I kind of like keeping nice and empty. Not everything needs to be full. And then probably some star systems in here leading into the Sea of Clouds. So yeah, this is going to be the last stream working on the local cluster. Next stream into the Sea of Clouds, which means we're going to need a whole bunch of more name recommendations for American, British, French, Australasian, Canadian, everyone else. So, yeah, keep that in mind for next time. But for now, let's finish up this sucker. Now, things that have changed since last time are mostly pretty minor. We went through and replaced a bunch of the duplicate names because I was really bad about that. And thanks to Alexandrian Codex, the map master of the map, for helping me out with that. But apart from that, though, I think it's just been a lot of smaller details. I don't think anything too dramatic has changed. So I am gonna shut up, and, well, that's not true. I'm probably gonna keep talking for a while. But let's get to placing some star systems. If you have questions about the universe, I will do my best to get to them. Mostly gonna be paying attention to the map today, though, so my apologies if we can't get to every question. Super chats, of course, we'll try to prioritize those, but only in certain segments. So if any of those come through, you might need to wait a second. All right, so what's left? I think I said I wanted to add just a few more stars. I'm gonna keep that border. I feel like this is kind of handy, actually, for letting me know where to focus. Okay, so Len Veil, where is my legend? Here we go. The move is to always start with independent systems. That's what I've been doing. Why? Okay, there we go. If this is your first time watching, it should be said that 90% of these streams are me trying to figure out how to use Adobe Illustrator, because it is not my usual thing, and I find it completely perplexing. But for now, let's just start putting in some more star systems. Don't want to overdo it. I have the tendency to overdo it, I have noticed, where I put in a bunch of stars and then I gotta walk it back because it looks too crowded. But in terms of just like a small cluster over here, does that look not too crazy? Actually, I kind of like this ribbon thing. Like, what if they were all along the ribbon? Yes. That seems cool. And Delser in chat asking, can someone explain what is happening here? Yeah, I mean, I kind of did at the top, but I'll give you another brief recap. The Templin Institute is... Hey, what the hell is this thing? Alright, well, the Templin Institute is a YouTube channel. We have a series called The Way of Worldbuilding in which we discuss topics related to world building. As part of that, we're developing our own original science fiction universe to serve as a case study for quote-unquote how to world build. And as part of that, we're developing a star map. So the TLDR is the Templin Institute is making its own sci-fi universe, and this is what the star map looks like for it. The background art was done by Tim Barton, whose work you might have recognized recently in Homeworld 3, because I sure recognized it. I saw those nebula, and I was like, that's Tim's work. I would recognize it a mile away, or a light year away. Okay, something like this. I know I said I wanted these things on the line, but maybe like that. I swear 90% of this is just figuring out Illustrator, and then 5% is just figuring out where stars look good on the map. which you'd think would be easier, but it's not. So, what can you do? Oh, I just screwed that one up. I needed the other side. There we go. So I always like covering up the big glowing things. It feels very appropriate. I think maybe the last step in actually doing the art for the map will be like going to all the different circles and adding a bit of a glow behind them to kind of copy this effect. Hopefully that's something Tim can teach me how to do, because I'd hate to make him do it. That seems like a waste of his talents. Okay. And thanks to everyone who's been wishing me well. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if you can hear, but my voice has not sounded this good in probably a year, I guess. It certainly hasn't felt this good to be able to just talk without choking to death all the time. So that's nice. The problem is, do I want these things to connect? Like, should there be like a thing like this? Yeah, that looks good. I think it looks good, right? That seems very natural to me. I can't explain it, but and actually, while I'm here, let's just test something out. I mean, I hate Illustrator. If this was Photoshop, I could probably do this in like 10 seconds, but no, there's a way to do this. There's a way, nope. Okay, I was gonna try to just add a glow effect in Illustrator real quick to see if I could do it. That seems insane in retrospect. That feels like a Photoshop job, so let's pretend I never even tried. But I mean, it can't be that hard. Like, just a simple glow, I think, is all we really need. Like, that is not the most intricate thing in the world. Okay, more systems in the Len Veil. Now, talking about, like, the geopolitical side of things, obviously we got India here, we got Vega here. The question is, like, what is north of Vega? Are there any other major or minor interstellar states, or is this just kind of more emptiness? Leaning towards emptiness, but maybe with a few clusters? Like, the Len Veil seems like it should have a bit more character to it at the moment, because right now, its only thing is that it has Vega in it, and the rest is just like nothing. So, what's something cool that could be north of Vega? Bunch of failed states, maybe just like a bunch of medium states. This is gonna, like, there's certain points on this map that still annoy me that I can't tell why, but okay, Len Veil. I mean, okay, let's just start putting some stuff down and we'll see how it looks. Because in the grand scheme of things, we got the Tannhauser Gate and the German Reich is up here. But the main way into the Reich is here. So, by the very nature of the geography, any states in here are going to be well within the German sphere of influence. But then we got Poland and the Baltic states and Ukraine somewhere around here. So maybe this is like, there's probably no direct conduit into the Reich through here. It has to be that way. That's how the Polish and the Ukrainians. Okay, I'm mostly just rambling out loud, but I think I got an idea here. Let's get this together. So first, let's just start adding some places that look cool, because like that kind of feels like I'm required by law to have a star system there. Something like that. Don't want to go too crazy though. Actually, you know what? I'm really liking this dynamic here. Like, what if... Yeah, I dig that. Again, couldn't tell you why. Tagasa Batau, I hope I didn't butcher that too badly, saying, hey, what about the Dutch? Look, there's only two things I can't stand. Intolerance for other people's cultures and the Dutch. So, I'm sorry. Hey, and thanks for the super chat there, No Stripe. I will get to it as soon as I am not freaking out about where stars should go, which hopefully should be just a second here. But the serious answer to the Dutch question is I think the Dutch are probably in the German Reich in this one. They might not even have their own distinct nation, but there would be like an independent Dutch colony somewhere, I'm sure. But so bad news if you're Dutch, I guess. Sorry about that. You hate to see it. Let's just start adding a few up here. I feel like, okay, I think I got it. Like I was saying that the Len Veil should have a bit more personality to it. And I'm thinking that the Len Veil is home to a bunch of like really long cosmic strings. So it's like kind of like this nice nexus of, I don't know, superhighways. But that don't necessarily lead to a bunch of different plays. I guess they kind of do. But I do like this kind of dynamic here. That's pretty cool looking. The only problem is India has to remain isolated, so I'm gonna move this away just visually a bit, so it's more obvious why you can't simply fly from there to there as much as you might want to. Oh yeah, I guess I've discovered some other. I don't know if I was messing around with this on stream last time, but coming up with a few ideas for like how to mark capital planets or capital star systems, and I think that might be a winner right there. That's just something I was messing around with. And Burke Barnett, thanks for the super chat there as well. I will get to it in our first little break here. I just want to nail down this section. And Tim does these amazing nebula shapes. It's always my instinct to put planets on them or star systems on them. And then I gotta curtail that instinct because I do it way too much. I keep saying that this universe is supposed to be like really grounded and gritty and all that stuff, and yet I feel like the map may be a bit too fantastical in my placements, but damn it, it looks cool. And I think it looks amazing. Okay. Let's just keep adding strings. Yeah, I'm liking this. So the way I figure, in the early days of colonization, long cosmic strings are like the highest form of currency. So, you know, the Americans finding like these initial strings was huge. The Germans discovering these ones were huge. The Soviets like cracking through here was huge. And I feel like these long strings were discovered like right towards the end of the evacuation of Earth, with the Soviet Union probably being like, all right, we'll expand this way too. We're gonna send all the satellite states up here, and then from there things kind of went bad. But all right, that's mostly again me just rambling out loud here. But I feel like I'm getting a feel of what makes the Len Veil important. Not that we need to figure out things right away. Hopefully the whole setting will evolve quite a bit, but it never hurts to just talk out loud. I guess isn't that the whole point of this series, is to explain the thought process? But hopefully without annoying everybody. Alright, come on. Like that. I do feel like I'm getting slightly better illustrated though, like I think I'm moving a bit faster than before. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. All right. Let's get rid of the legend there. Oops. Oh, Mark, you idiot. You have put all the planets on the wrong layer. Okay, I can fix this. I can fix this. Yeah. Illustrator, you son of a bitch. You thought you could make me look like a fool, but I have learned, I've adapted, I have beaten your stupid riddles. Alright, but that section of the galaxy is looking good. In fact, I think that's done. I think that is, like, solid as hell. So let's go to those super chats, and thank you very much to those who submitted them, and I'll try to get some other questions in from chat as well, so queue them up if you have any questions that I didn't answer. No Stripe. Actually, let me bring the box up here. There we go. No Stripe saying, if people want to live away from the major population centers, will they be allowed to live anywhere or to specific regions on the planet, or will they ban them and be forced? Yeah, so we've talked about how cities work in Dawn of Victory before, with the idea being that most planets only have maybe like 1 to 10 cities max, and as a result, most planets in the DOVOverse are way less urbanized and populated than Earth. But the idea that you're forced to live in the population centers, I'd say no. Obviously, I don't know how domestic travel is handled in governments like, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union and the Empire of Japan, but I would assume that in the Western nations, at least, it's pretty similar to real life, where you can move where you want, maybe claim some land. If anything, I think probably claiming some land out in the sticks is easier, because they'll need people to still work in more rural communities, but yeah. I hope that was a not too rambling answer. But the only thing I'm not sure about is how that same system would work in, more authoritarian regimes. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that so far. All right. Burke Barnett's saying if Vega was going to be a regional power, then they need to have other inhabited systems to bully. Also love the idea of Vega on a crossroads, riches to have. Yeah, that's actually kind of like something I've been really conscious of, is like giving every nation on this map a little room to expand. I don't know why. It's probably because I just have that 4X mindset. Like, if I was playing the Hearts of Iron version of this and I was starting as Vega, it's nice to have some territories to be able to expand into. Same with like India having stuff over here, and even like Chile being able to have some independent systems. So yeah, the idea is that every major power will be separated by others by at least a few systems for them to have some conflicts over. I do think looking at this from the Hearts of Iron 4 perspective is a good call if you want a lot of geopolitical conflicts. So I think we're on the same page. Where are you going to put the Balkan nations? I haven't entirely decided yet, so did I label anything? No, I guess not. Germany is around here, and I guess, I know this isn't too helpful, but I think the Balkans are going to be around here somewhere, with Germany here, Balkans here, Nordics around here, Far Frontiers up there. Yeah, so we'll get there. But yeah, so the Balkans will be on the map. Okay, going down to the non-super chats. What have I missed? Will Brazil and Pakistan be worked on the stream? Negative, although I think we did do a bit of updates to Brazil in between the streams. Like, we have been going back and renaming some of the star systems, just because we keep getting a lot of great suggestions. I think Pakistan has gone through a full renaming at this point. Not to say that we're, finished. There's always more stuff to work on, but no, not on stream today. Sorry. Do the Pacific states still exist in DOV, or is that being abandoned? So yeah, for those of you who don't know, back in, well, let's not say how long ago it was, but a while ago now, this universe used to be like a mod. An earlier version of this project was a mod for Sins of a Solar Empire, and the Pacific states were a big thing in that mod. So yeah, they're back. The idea is that the Pacific states of America will be right around here. The question is, do we call them the Pacific states? I love the name, but I worry that we're ripping off Kaiserreich too much, so I don't know. Rich May asking, so Poland, Baltics, and Ukraine is becoming independent here. Maybe some kind of intermarium or some kind of Eastern Bloc 2.0. You're right on both counts. I wish I could show you what it looks like, because it's really cool looking, but in the same way that Brazil has its own big cluster and India has its own big cluster, the intermarium has its own big cluster right around here that unfortunately is just between the Soviets and the Germans again. So sometimes history doesn't rhyme, but other times it does. Okay, hey, another super chat. Thank you, one and only JJ, saying, notice the maintaining use Western, or the use of the term Western. I do quite like the sort of endurance of the term with OTO residing in the galactic southeast. Could Western refer to Axis nations as well, or something else developed its place? So yeah, for those of you not sure about the context here, in the lore for Dawn of Victory, we sometimes refer to nations as Western, and my thinking is that just because America and France and everyone else fucks off to the Sea of Clouds, I'm not sure if we would lose the Western term. I think no matter where America ends up, people are still going to call it Western. So yeah, when they say Western, they're talking about liberal democracies. They're not talking about actual geographic locations. So I feel like you might have certain nations referred to as Asian or European or all these other things, despite the fact those places no longer exist. So that's the thinking there. And also, it's just good if you don't want to refer to them as Oto every single time. You can just say Western. All right. And Axe Baron, thank you very much for the super chat, saying, welcome back. Glad to see your health has improved. I know DOV Classic had the Charismian Shah. Are there any plans for bringing them back, or can you not talk on that yet? They were a really cool idea. Yeah, so again, if you weren't familiar with the older version of this project from a million years ago, there was a bit of lore that right on the edge of explored space, the Soviet Union ran into another alien species with their own kind of unique. I don't want to give too much away about them because I think they're really cool, but the idea is that somewhere out here there's more aliens, and yes, that is still a thing in this new version of the project. I'm not sure if we're going to call them the Charismian Shah, because that sounds, I can't remember what that is stolen from, but that sounds like I stole that from history. I'm sure if you went on Wikipedia and looked up Charismian Shah, you would find some, I don't know, that some kingdom that got attacked by the Mongols, I'm certain. So but yes, I thought that was a cool lore element that I don't want to talk about too much because it works when you don't know too much. Oliver Lacey asking, how is your health? Great. I mean, hopefully you can hear it, but before I could not breathe without choking or coughing or that horrible kind of sound. I don't know, that whatever that is. Which would you rather include in DOV, Magic or Gundam? I guess I'll say Gundam, just because Magic would ruin everything, whereas Gundam would only add huge robots, which would only ruin some things. Yeah. And all right, anything else huge? No, I guess not. All right, let's get back to work then. Okay, so what do we got? This section done, except for names, of course. I mean, that seems like an obvious move, but how do I connect it to this? Like, is there a connection, or... Because I don't feel like these should be directly connected. Like, Vega as the crossroads of the Orion Arm has to be a bit more deliberate, I think, where it just can't be in every single direction. But I do like this. No, I take it back. I don't like that. What if I went... like that? I also really like this music. This playlist on Spotify says that it's like stream friendly. It is not. Our YouTube channel has been hit with copyright strikes for every single one of these streams, and yet I can't listen to anything else because I think these remixes are great. So, I guess I appreciate the super chats even more. Yes, I like that. Oh shit, except the Tannhauser Gate is over there. Do you enter the German Reich through the Tannhauser Gate, or is it like just something that happens to exist on the side of Germany? Like, Tannhauser Gate has to be important because of Blade Runner. I think everyone knows that. But is it the entrance to the German Reich like the Shai Hulud is for the Americans? Like, do you need to fly into the gate? Yes, I think you do, which means that I need to change everything. Yeah, okay, got it. In fact, let's make it all nice and official. Bring back the legend. Germany, where are you? And thanks for the super chat there, AM Nero. I will get to it in just a second. The next break we take, maybe more than a second. Okay, so there. If you want to get to Germany, you start in Seoul, Alpha Centauri, Cygnus Alpha Lyrae. Bam, 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 and then there. Yeah. Germans actually have a nice, easy route. It does mean that the Mare Nostrum is kind of empty, which I don't hate. I feel like we were getting a bit too crowded there for a bit. And, yeah, this is going to be like the Orion Arms version of the Mediterranean. But it can't be completely empty, because that is boring as shit, so what can we do? I like this kind of, whatever this is. Bit of nebula. In fact, I like it a lot. Let's make that like, this will be like a nice little cluster. Something like that, maybe a bit closer together. The problem is, how do you get to it? I feel like that's probably linking Germany and Italy. Something like so. Kind of messing everything up, but that's fine. Okay, what can I do? There we go. Let's link these up. This might be a bit too simple, but for now, I don't know if I hate that. That seems actually pretty decent. Yeah, I feel like I need to, now I gotta mess with like this area a bit, because this doesn't feel super good looking anymore, but I do like this kind of star system hanging on the underside of the German forest up there. I don't know. It does look kind of weird, though. All right, I will need to mess with that because I don't think either of this is looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that looks that looks bad. And I know it's completely arbitrary, but it's gonna drive me nuts. Can't have any straight lines. But I also really don't want to spend the entire stream working on this, so yeah, I will come back to that, because that is annoying me. But the rest, looking pretty good. I really like this area. I feel like we need to add some more stuff here. Maybe some independent colonies are on here. I feel like that's pretty likely. Yeah, okay, I think that's something. In fact, that makes like a nice little counter kind of thing to Vega. In fact, maybe these aren't independent. Maybe this is another Axis puppet state. Yeah. I think it probably is. And Daniel Walker asking, why are there so many independent planets? So yeah, independent here is a bit of a misnomer. By independent, I mean like unclaimed, unsettled, not unsettled, but there's no government sovereignty over it. So it's not necessarily inhabited. It's probably full of space miners and whoever else that's plying the space lanes in between the major nations. But here's a question for the chat. Dawn of Victory has like a ton of star systems. Possibly too many, but I don't think so. And the reasoning is, I guess, I want every country, I guess, to have a bit of character to it. And I feel like when there's multiple star systems, you can come up with more unique elements to it. But also, I feel like the scale of the universe being bigger just adds to everything, because when geopolitics are our primary conflict, there's so much more territory to fight over. So for example, like, I mean, I don't really have a good example, but I do like being able to visualize, you know, what would happen if the Soviet Union came in through the side here. Like, it's not just a battle for a star system and that's it. Like, you'd have to take entire clusters, and you gotta move on to the next cluster, and then you gotta break into the Juno Reach and the Apollo subcluster and Draconis, and then maybe make a run for the Sol. Like, I feel like there's a lot more going on here to make interstellar conflicts more interesting. Or am I just rambling incoherently? I have no idea. But I feel like more planetary systems just leads to more options in a really, really good way. Especially when, you know, who knows how long this project is going to be developed for, so it'll be nice to maybe in like a decade just give a section of the map to somebody and say, hey, develop this, because no one ever has. I don't know. That's my thinking. But as for where we need more star systems, I think maybe in here. What kind of weird Star Wars music is this? I don't even know what genre of music this is. Just ambient, chill, is that a thing? I worry I'm adding too much that doesn't need it. Maybe this is good as is. All right, well, I'm thinking let's get to those super chats I missed. Oops, all right. I am Nero asking, is the Union of Bulgaria and Romania a dual monarchy type country with both a Tsar of Bulgaria and a King of Romania as heads of state? For those of you unaware, we have a wiki that has a list of all the current nations in the universe, and the Union of Bulgaria and Romania is on there. As for their status, probably a negative on the monarchy, although that does sound kind of interesting. So, like, the real answer is that, like, not much work has been put into the Union of Bulgaria and Romania yet, besides the name. But I think that Spain is going to be the constitutional monarchy, or at least the prominent constitutional monarchy within the Axis. I think we might want to do something more interesting with Bulgaria, although having a dual monarchy is pretty interesting. I don't know. It's a really interesting idea that I don't want to say yes or no to right now, just because it would require more research than that. But I like where your head's at, I guess. If nothing else, that's a really interesting idea. Thanks. Burke Barnett, thanks again, saying the gate would be easier to plan if the area was seen. That is accurate, but we got to retain some mystery here, so my apologies. But before we continue, any other minor, major questions that need to be addressed? Doesn't seem like it. All right, let's get back to it. Oh wait, here we go. Brasilia asking, are the Filipinos who fled the Philippines in the 1930s integrated into American society to the degree that they're not considered an immigrant community? Yes, mostly. The whole, I mean, we're still working on it, obviously, but the crisis that kicked this off, the first Sinfaxi War, it led to like this massive refugee crisis. It was a whole mess. But the idea is that you'd have like governments in exile all over the world. So there might be like a Philippine government in exile in the States, in which case they wouldn't be integrated. They would try to reform the Philippines elsewhere. So it's a mix. Like obviously some evacuees became American citizens, and yes, they were fully integrated. And human civilization in the Orion Arm in Dawn of Victory is very kind of multi-ethnic, and yeah, even the German Reich to some extent. I hope that answered at least some of that question. But yeah, I mean, it's too many centuries have gone by now from the original evacuation of Earth that no one would really be considered a refugee anymore. They would just be American, as it should be. Okay, What is the least pleasant nation in DOV at present? I don't know. So I've deliberately avoided putting in the least pleasant nations. I mean, I guess the answer is Italy, right? Fascist Italy. However, we do want to have some of the smaller nations could be a bit more extreme. So maybe like Vesper has gone in like super ultra-nationalist, or maybe Via Appia has gone more down into the weird side of I mean, it's all weird, but like the more hate-based side of fascism. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that there's variations everywhere. I don't know. That's good. I guess Italy. I'll say Italy for now. The least pleasant. But only in terms of their government. The people and the pasta are wonderful. And yeah, I want to get back to working on this here. So let me just get back to that. Sorry about that, folks. I know there's plenty of questions, but I mentioned to get back to this. The question is, I feel like Italy actually does need a few star systems just up top here. Also looks kind of barren. The question is, are these actually independent systems, or are they more Italian systems, or maybe they're German systems, or possibly even another Axis state? Tim Barton, the man himself, saying Italy is huge, though. Yeah, Italy is huge. I mean, it's bigger than India, I think, on the map, right? Or I guess it's about the same size. But in terms of the number of systems that a nation controls on the map, it's not necessarily linked to population or anything really. It's just how lucky they were during the initial colonization era. Because when we get to America, America might have, I don't know, it might be like a giant portion of the Sea of Clouds, and yet its total population might be smaller than India's. It's just that America broke into the Sea of Clouds first and got all the best real estate. So that's the thinking there. But of course, Tim, the absolute man, makes this whole process so much better. As for more star systems, though, let's get back to the Upper Italy zone. Kind of want to keep this area clear, like this, the Aquila Nebula, maybe, I think is so appropriate. God, that looks cool. All right, maybe like one more here. As for how they're linked, I'm not gonna go too crazy. And I'll try to read off some stuff from chat here just while I'm messing around without bringing up the whole text on screen and all that. But to guess, Batau asking, I feel like I'm messing up that name every time. But will Britain and France punch above their weight compared to America and the other superpowers? Yeah. So even though the United States is the main superpower of the OTO, I guess the only superpower of the OTO, I want the relationship between the Allies to be more World War II-esque in that Britain and France are not as behind America as they were, let's say, at the end of the Cold War. The disparity in power is not quite as severe. Okay. I'm kind of tempted to rework the Amazonia cluster a bit at some point, but in terms of adding new systems, I think I'll hold off for... fuck it, let's add a bit more. You can tell my ability to resist adding new star systems just is not quite there. Again, I feel like I'm covering up all of Tim's best work, but I like the look of it so much. Something like that. Yeah. Brazil was one of the first countries we added to the map, and since then, I don't know, I feel like I've become a lot more refined in how I place star systems. Like there's a weird art form to this, I think, that I'm only slowly learning. So I couldn't tell you why, but the way that the star systems are laid out in Brazil, they look wrong to me compared to, say, India or, you know, any other section of this map. Like I feel like I need to go in and fix this, but I don't know exactly how yet, so I will worry about that later. And Alexandrian Kodak saying, "Quit making Tim cry, you monster." Nah, Tim's a professional. He gets it. Oh wait, no, he just said I cry every time you do it. Never mind, Tim's not a professional. He's an emotional man. But appreciate it regardless. I'm not sure. Okay, so the Sea of Clouds. Let's make a big decision right now. Do you fly into America through Shai-Hulud? And can I make a poll in this? No, I don't think I can. Damn it. All right, well, okay. We'll put it down to whoever responds in chat here. Should you fly into the Sea of Clouds through Shai-Hulud? I mean, obviously there's more than one way in, but should the main way in be through this thing? Because there is a secondary route through here, and there'll be other routes all along the top. But the main one, does it go through here? Wizard Chap, or Dragonfire says yes. I feel like chat moved. Yeah, Wizard Chap said yes. Okay, everyone's saying, okay, yeah, no one's saying no, so I guess I'm just an idiot for even asking. That's fine. Never hurts to take the temperature of the room. All right, I am prohibited by law to put any more star systems on this side of the line until next stream, though, so let's just kind of figure out where it's probably gonna go. Like, there's probably a star system in there somewhere. And I've labeled this the Hydrus Expanse. I don't know what that is. Other than Alpha Hydrus is a cool name. Yeah, okay, let's move it down for now, just so I'm not... Nope, I'll put it exactly where it was, because there's a nice little thing there. Instead, let's move... Okay, maybe you gotta go, like, you gotta really ride the worm. I'm imagining, like, I live in Calgary, which is an hour from Banff, which is our big national park, where all the mountains are. And the road into Banff is, like, extraordinary, right? Because you're driving along these, you know, sapphire-colored lakes with these crazy hotels. Like, it's just a wild, wild drive, so I'm imagining, like, it's the same thing. Like, when you're going into America, you get this nice, easy route. Before exploding into the most beautiful part of the arm, so. Yeah, I think that's how you get in. Okay. I, of course, reserve the right to go back and alter this, but just in terms of planning stuff out, I think that's good enough for now. Although I feel like I'm about to change it, so maybe not. And I know, like, it feels so natural to have this line, like, partially disappear. I know Tim was saying that'd be a cool thing to do, and I don't disagree. It's just, I'm about the, wait, what am I doing? How do I, is this gonna work? I guess I can only erase the entire thing. I can't just, like, partially erase it. Right? Okay, but the point is, like, if the string looked like this, I mean, it would need to look better than that, but if it looked better than that, I feel like I would need to go back and erase, like, everything else to try to get that same effect, and I don't know if that might be too crazy. So, I feel like keeping the string intact might be the way to go. Tim Barton saying dashed line. Could work, except dashed lines are meant to represent, like, slower parts of the network, whereas this is, like, the fastest part of the network, so... I don't know, I'll keep thinking about it. It's not like we gotta lock it in right now, but... It does feel like a bit of a missed opportunity not to erase part of that line. Maybe that's the only line on the map that'll do it. I don't know, but for now... Looking at this again, I don't know if I actually like this part of the map anymore. I think that was getting a bit too chummy up there. All right, but moving on, let's keep it going. All right, so that's the main route into the Sea of Clouds. That's where the first wave of colony ships went through. Eventually, they broke into these strings down here. Colwood into probably something around here. Except, I think both these... No, do these routes go into the same place? No, because otherwise there'd be no point to these... to going through here. So, okay, so this route probably ends up just south of Shai Hulud. End up like right around there. Whereas this route leads into New California. Or whatever it's going to be renamed, because I think it's that temporary name. Okay, so what does this area look like? Is there more stuff over here, or is it... Yeah, I think there is, because this interesting, like, radiation spill is pretty cool looking. So there should be something there. Maybe it's like, this is the really nice way in, with like the beautiful, like exiting out Shai Hulud's thing into the Sea of Clouds, and you get the great views, and then this is like the crap route, where it's like, no one likes taking this route because there's a bunch of crap in the way and it doesn't look very good, or at least not as good as Shai Hulud. You got like the radiation spill, I don't know. And then you're right on the edge of the pirate zone. And it's also probably less efficient going this way, depending on where you're going. Never like having the text be like intersected by the thing. I should probably replace that with a different... Yeah, looks a little better. Okay. Is this everything? Do I, like, does any part of this look like it's missing stuff? I'm so tempted to just keep adding more and more and more and more, but I guess maybe a bit more towards the Sea of Clouds. Like, this feels a little empty, even though it's supposed to be like the big scenic route, but let's expand this out just a bit to make it look less barren. I really like the way that clusters of 3-star systems look on this map, and I gotta keep an eye on that because I've been doing it too often. But whenever in doubt, add 3-star systems and you'll usually get a good looking kind of pattern to it. That's what I've learned in this highly competitive field of star map making. Something like that? I don't know, it seems kind of pointless. But I do think the heart is in the right place. Alright, let me just get this section going and I'll see if we missed any super chats while I was rambling. Oh, okay, yeah, that is actually looking... That's good. I do like this. And I feel like geopolitics, this isn't, like this actually kind of works, because when you think of why the Axis need to control the Rubicon, it's because like that's the main way into the Elysian Fields, right? Whereas if the Americans were to go like through here, then they're either going back to the Rubicon or they can go this way, in which case now they got to deal with Chile, they got to deal with Argentina, which might be on the Axis side, and the American route into the Elysian Fields through here is just a no-go. So they got to do the Rubicon, which is why the Rubicon's important. So I feel like this all works. Because I live in constant fear that I'm going to add like a random star system that breaks something important in how the politics are supposed to unfold throughout all of this. Fullman saying, wouldn't it be astropolitics? Yes, I think that word sucks though. Like geography, isn't it just referring to stuff? And isn't there stuff in space? What is so special about geo that it wouldn't work? I realize my argument isn't great. I just think astro sounds too cartoonish. Although I've been using it. I mean, we use astropolitics on the website, so what do I know? I think stellar politics would sound better, but no one listened to me. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of just going over the map now incessantly, but I am so obsessed with how good this looks. Okay, but that is looking great. I feel like this maybe could use a bit more work, but it's not, this isn't, like this works. I feel like this kind of supports what the idea is. And that there's two ways in, but they're not connected. And if you wanted to connect them, you'd have to go through the Golden Horn, so that's like a problem. Yeah, okay, this is all working for me. I'm just not sure if there should be like a whole bunch of stuff around here or not. I kind of don't think so. Well, maybe, yeah, maybe, but they don't connect. How about that? Like, we're right on the edge of the map now, but I think that's okay. Ooh. I actually really love the look of that. And I don't think we need more than just a couple star systems in here. He said as he added more. Yeah, all I know is there's something in here. Because this looks really interesting. Just not sure what, but I suppose that's, you know, part of the fun of world building, right? Just creating just stuff that you don't know what you're going to do with it, but you'll get back to it someday, or maybe someone else will do something with it. Because, like, on the one hand, we're adding a ton of star systems, right? But on the other hand, like, this is as big as the universe gets. It's not like 40K where as soon as Cadia blows up, we can invent, you know, another planet that's really important. Like the star systems that appear on this map, that is it. Can't just invent more. Maybe we can, but for the most part, I'd avoid it. Maybe there's two ways into the Sea of Clouds. Don't hate that. In fact, I think that's pretty good looking. You know what? I wonder if this is like a protectorate run by the US Navy, where it's just like, hey, we need to practice interstellar maneuvers, so like give us 5 star systems that will just be property of the US Navy, where we can conduct like huge, large-scale training exercises. Or maybe this is like Oto Lake, you know, where... So I feel like having a big training area would be kind of necessary, right? Either way, though, I think that's working pretty well. So, Alexandrian Codex. If you're still in chat, are there any... Sorry, before I cough my guts out again. Any names jumping out at you for these independent systems? And same for everyone else in chat, but if you want to refer to the systems list, it's about time we start naming these suckers. Whoops. I don't know what we're... Speaking of which... sorry, Alex, I think we just posted our conversation there. Luckily, we were just talking about usual stuff, like murder and fraud, so I don't think we're going to jail yet. Okay, but in terms of what I'm looking at here, I just brought up the our systems list. And sometimes I like naming stuff on stream, sometimes I feel like it's better to do it off stream. I don't know, I feel like it goes either way, but I don't know if it's necessarily the most exciting thing in the world hearing me read through a bunch of names and try to pick one out, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna zoom in on this section here. This is close to, I guess, the Eastern European, Central European section of the map, so let's get some, like, Polish, Ukrainian, Slavic names for this kind of area. So feel free to shoot some in chat, and I will also be looking at the Independent Systems bounty on that list. In fact, we got East Slavic here. We got a lot of names of, like, gods and stuff here, so maybe something associated with that might be interesting. Although we've already done a similar thing down here with Paran and Dazgbog and that stuff. Oh, Dnieper, one of the longest rivers in Ukraine. Probably should save that for the actual Ukrainian state. But East Slavic goddess of fertility. Yeah, I feel like most of these names will be temporary, but I do like that. Actually, does that make sense? If the Russians were going to try to take over the string, they would have gone through here, probably, or maybe not. Yeah, maybe through here. Not impossible. Okay, yep. I assume some Russian name slipped in this way then. And I didn't name something Kostroma twice just now, did I? I don't think I did. Okay. Yeah, that still seems a bit strong. I don't know. I don't... Huh. I feel like I don't have a good enough idea of what these should be named to do it arbitrarily on stream right now. So I'm gonna either do this off stream or we'll come back and do it later. But I don't feel great about arbitrarily putting in a bunch of names right now. So I guess we won't. Potentially around here though. Okay, but for this area, I do want to pick out some names here because the idea is that the Americans and Oto, when they were plotting out the strings, they would name star systems just after Latin phrases or Latin words, I guess. Like whatever Sigma Draconis is, that was kind of the naming convention. So you can see some remnants of it where you have Tau Eridanus, Alpha Hydrus, and, you know, Sigma Draconis, and possibly some others as like the last systems that haven't been renamed since that initial exploration, and I feel like there's probably some more over here. So let's do, I don't know, Tycho something. Tycho always sounds cool, but Tycho Repentai, Invictus says Tagasa Batau. What's something that would kind of make sense just phonetically be distinct? Latin constellation names. Because I feel like that's probably what's going on here. Tycho Libra, Tycho Virgo, Tycho Leo. I mean, I guess maybe that's 2 on the nose. Tycho Lupus, Tycho Nostrum. What's Nostrum mean? Because that sounds kind of good. A medicine, especially one that is not considered effective. What? That can't be good. Tycho Tenebrae, says Night Terrors there. Tenebrae, that sounds kind of ominous. Oh, given to the name of celebration. Tycho Tenebrae? I don't know. God, I wish I had some more names just on the docket here, but no such luck. Let me just start going through this list. We'll see if we can find some good ones. Tycho Nimbus. No, that feels like a Templin Institute Patreon tier. Alright, maybe I'll come back to this because I feel like I'm spending a lot of time just staring at this space. Or maybe it's just called Tycho. But as for adding more star systems, that's the thing I really want to lock down this stream. Alright, well, while I'm thinking things over, let's bring up some super chats and answer some questions from regular chat. So, first, No Stripe, thank you very much for the super chat, saying, how accurate will orbital bombardment be in meters? That's got to be one of those things that is very dependent on a ton of different circumstances. So, it would depend, right? Because depending on your orbit, you're either traveling over the target area very slowly, in which case you're more accurate, but can also be shot at more accurately, or you're moving over the target really fast, in which case the orbital bombardment probably isn't as accurate, but you're over the target area less and can't be shot at as much. So, I would say that orbital bombardment is never, like, super accurate. The idea of, you know, hitting a meter, I don't know, just, probably not that accurate. I would say accurate within half a mile. I'm kind of just spitballing here. I don't know how accurate, like what a realistic accuracy would be for a weapon like that, but it varies, is I guess my main answer, depending on technology, circumstances, the actions of the enemy. And one and only JJ asking, a means for Argentina to influence the Elysium Fields. I assume you're talking about this area. And yes, Argentina is a big player in the fields, for sure. Because I think Argentina is aligned a bit more closely to Italy and the Reich than the rest of the South American states. All right, any pertinent questions from regular chat? Dylan asking, what's the scale of human exploration so far? A few hundred light years? This is one of those things that I want to keep really vague, because as soon as you know like how many light years it is from Odessa to Ithaca or whatever, I feel like you can start to like really figure stuff out in a way that's going to break the setting. So I'm not sure if I want to put like a solid number on it, but I mean, at the very least, you can tell that Sol is pretty close to Alpha Centauri, and I don't know how many light years Alpha Centauri is from Earth, but I don't know. I mean, you could try to figure it out, but I guess, let's say, hundreds, maybe thousands of light years across the entire Orion Arm is. But I'm not sure. It's definitely big, but not that big, right? Like, so many sci-fi settings cover the entire galaxy when I don't think they need to. So this is a more contained part of the galaxy. And Blue Space asking, hey Mark, I have a question about how national elections will work if it takes time for information to get in between planets. Would elections just take longer, or is there some other method? So, yeah, figuring out how technology and communications works is, it's a bit of a big project. Right now, the idea is that some stuff just takes longer, like individual star systems are fully connected across networks, computer networks, but between systems, there's a bit of lag. So yeah, in terms of elections, I would assume it's taken a bit longer. Although on the other hand, government institutions do have instant communication, so once all the star systems and cities tally the results, yeah, I think it'd actually be pretty immediate. I don't know, like, certain important stuff like elections would be handled on more advanced communication networks not available to the standard citizen that would nevertheless allow for things to be done more immediately. I think that's a good answer. I hope that covers some stuff. And Vigular89 asking, why not using real star names like Alpha Centauri, Arcturus? I mean, we are for some of them. All the real star names are concentrated in the center. They got Procyon, Lalande, Tau Ceti, even Bernard's star, which I kind of want to get rid of. But the idea is a lot of these stars originally did have different names, but as people settled them and traveled through them, they renamed them because no one wanted to live on a star called some weird, numerical designation or whatever. So slowly but surely, the original names got replaced with more memorable ones, and only a few kind of emerged unscathed, like Tau Ceti, Sirius, Alpha Centauri. So that's the idea. No Stripe asking, gambling in DOV always. Titanic X asking, are there any possibilities for advanced cybernetic limbs or heavy cybernetic augments? Cybernetics is one of those interesting things, because on the one hand, I don't want to distract away from the main themes of Dawn of Victory, but I think cybernetics can kind of tie into them kind of well. So I think it's mostly like medical cybernetics. Like no one's adding a bunch of octopus arms, like Doc Ock or whatever, but losing an arm, losing an eye, losing a leg, these are not big deals anymore. You can get them replaced with something just as good or likely better. And I'm sure that most people have some sort of ocular implant so they can see, augmented reality without needing to use a VR headset or whatever. So I'm sure everyone has artificial lens in their eyes that let them see stuff. And remember Volksguardia, yes. In fact, at some point we got to put Tyrell on the map, figure out where it is. Because I'd hate to forget that. All right. Oh, one more here. Northern Wolf asking, do you have any plans for a Mexican nation in the Orion Arm, like the United Mexican States? Yes. I am not sure where they're gonna be. Like, is it too cliche to put Mexico next to California again? Possibly. I think one idea was that Mexico might have been in here, because this is like a really interesting looking spot. But there are a bunch of different options for where Mexico could be, but they're definitely in the Sea of Clouds, though not necessarily a part of the Orion Treaty Organization, because I think Mexico is kind of proud of their neutrality, especially from the Americans, I'd imagine. Okay, but you know what? Let's do a final review here, and then I think we're looking good. This might end up being a shorter stream, but I would rather not rush into any new sections. Sped asking, what is that in the middle of the Sea of Clouds? Like this thing? I don't know, a bunch of stars, I guess. Unless you mean this thing. In which case, nobody knows what that thing is. Probably something blew up. Either a star blew up, or I don't know. Something bad happened there, that's all we know. Yeah, okay, so I think I don't hate ending it there. I feel like this is exactly what I was hoping to end up with, and obviously over the next week or so, we will go through and start naming these things, and again, just the start of the process. We're gonna be working on this section of the map for a while, but in terms of like placement, number of stars, like the basic geopolitics, I think we're good. Like we could add a bit more around here, but I kind of like leaving this empty. I guess gotta add something down there, but I'll worry about that. That's so much in the corner, yeah. Yeah, I think we are looking good. All right, yeah, so I guess I'll end the stream a bit sooner today, but before we do, any last minute questions, any requests to zoom in on this map, anything you want to see before we end things, let me know. And until then, I am just going to kind of look around and see if anything pops out at me, but for the most part, actually, let's figure out these strings here. Working on the edge is a little harder because it does feel like I don't really know when to stop. Like, might have been nice to have the entire map revealed, but then we'd lose the drama. So I have no qualms about this this approach, even if it means I gotta be a bit more deliberate in certain things. Is that too much just like a box? Like, does that look boring? I think it does. Okay, maybe something like this. I don't like having it go across the gap there, though. It looks too cool to mess with. What if it worked like this, just a big loop? Yeah, I don't hate that. In fact, if I add one more, we'll imagine there's something else over there. Okay, that feels right. All right, yeah, let's bring up the last questions we got then, and I'll end this sucker. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do, something I forgot to mention at the start of the stream that I really should have. Over on the Discord server for the Dawn to Victory project, can I link that? No, I don't have a link to it. Shit. If anyone has a link to the Discord, throw it in chat right now. But the Dawn to Victory Discord, we just launched a role-playing section. So for those of you into RP and want to be on the ground floor, we have, I think the soft launch is starting tomorrow. We literally just announced it earlier this afternoon. So I think the only thing you can really do right now is start crafting your character and read the rules. But if you want to give it a shot, let's see. Oh, there's that conversation with Alex again. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can't bring it up here. That's probably not ideal. But the point is, we got an RP going on the Discord server. We got a bigger announcement coming up for that next week. But if you want to get on there right now, join the Discord. And apart from that, Tim Barton saying that I should reveal the carnivorous plant nebula. So yeah, we do gotta reveal another part of the map, but it's gonna have to wait till next stream, just because, well, it's just the way it has to be, right? Let's get rid of the border. So the plan for next stream, well, first, of course, we're moving into the Sea of Clouds. We need names for the Americans, for the Californians, the French. So we're doing the whole Western countries. That'll be starting up next stream. But also happening next stream is we'll need to reveal at least one new section of the map. So I think what we'll do is at the start of next stream, we'll start a poll, and you'll get to vote on if we're revealing maybe the German section, or this area here, which looks really cool, or maybe the Japanese section, or the Soviet section. And that'll be the next tantalizing thing that's in the background while we work on filling out the Sea of Clouds. But yeah, I am really excited to have made so much progress, and I want to thank everyone for sticking with me as we do this, because it is coming together. At the start of this project, I was really nervous about how things were going to turn out, and I am obsessed with this map. I can't stop just looking at it. I think it's so incredible, and hopefully you folks feel the same way. So that'll be it for this stream. Let's go back to the main HUD. I think my my lungs are mostly where I want them, but I made the mistake of jumping into regular streams a few times over the last year, so I'm probably gonna wait until I've had maybe, I don't know, a month of no issues, and then get back to regular streaming apart from these world building streams, which will be happening weekly. So that's the next one's next week, but apart from these, I don't know, keep an eye out. Hopefully I'll get a chance to stream some other games. I want to play some Homeworld 3 and some Warno. They both had big releases lately, so on the docket, that's what's up ahead, but can't give you exact dates. So, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll catch you in a week. And if you want to join that role-playing happening on the Discord server, hopefully a link is in the description of this video, but I can't put it in chat. So, see you next time. Thanks, everybody.